I have a little English test for you. If I asked you, you don't have any plans, what are you going to do? Which one of these words would you be most likely to use in your reply? And I'm going to tell you the answer in the next 2 minutes. Are you ready? The first word is to go through. The next one is harder than it looks. And the final one is to go with the flow. So hang on tight, you're going to find out the answer within the next 2 minutes. In today's lesson, you are going to learn 10 plus 1 bonus daily life English expressions that you can use in your conversations wherever you go. I used all of these real life expressions in my most recent video where I showed you all of the food that I bought at the grocery store. It was a lot of food. I used a lot of phrases, and all of these were naturally used in that conversation. I want you to be able to use real life English phrases like this, not textbook phrases, real life phrases in your daily life. And if you're new here, hi, I'm Vanessa from speakenglishwithvanessa.com, and I teach you real life English here on my YouTube channel for over the past 10 years to over 7 million of you now. I can't believe it. Thank you so much for learning English with me. And I want to let you know that every single week I prepare something special for you. Every Friday for a new YouTube lesson here, I make a free PDF worksheet. This includes all of the vocabulary, all of the definitions, all of the sample sentences that you are about to learn. Plus, on the last page, there is a challenge question where you can use all of these phrases yourself. Plus, I have included a bonus speaking practice. This is a chance for you to speak out loud, practice your speaking, pronunciation, vocabulary, sentence structure skills, and repeat after my voice everything on this worksheet. Let's take a little sneak peek and hear what this is. Hello, hello. Welcome to this bonus speaking practice about the vocabulary that you just learned on YouTube. I am going to go through the free PDF worksheet, so let's get started. So how can you download this free PDF worksheet plus the bonus speaking practice? All you have to do is click the link in the description, enter your name and email address, and voila, just like that, the free PDF and speaking practice will land in your email inbox. And do you want to know something cool? You never have to sign up for my free worksheets ever again. I will automatically send them to you every single Friday to your email inbox. Sign up once and you are signed up forever. It is my gift to you. So click on the link in the description to get today's free worksheet plus bonus speaking practice. All right, let's go to our first daily life English expression and the answer to the quiz at the beginning of this lesson. Our first expression is to go with the flow. At the beginning of this lesson, I said, you don't have any plans? What are you going to do? You can use this phrase, I'm just going to go with the flow. And you can guess that this means you are going to not have any plans. You are going to be spontaneous. See what happens along the way. I don't know. It's like you're on a river floating down. I'm just going to go with the flow. In the original video where I was talking about the food I bought at the grocery store, I did not plan that lesson. Every single phrase I was going to say, I just talked as I went. So I said, let's just go with the flow and see what happens. This kind of real life English conversation is excellent for really immersing yourself in conversation instead of a structured, planned out type of conversation. Instead, it's real life. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a look at the original clip from that conversation, and I want you to listen for the phrase to go with the flow. Let's watch.
Some of them are not all packaged together, so this is not all the fruit. This is not all the pantry supplies, but we'll just go with the flow and see what we got here. Some of them are not all packaged together, so this is not all the fruit. This is not all the pantry supplies, but we'll just go with the flow and see what we got here.
The second real life expression is a fun one. It is a big thing of. In English, we often use the word thing when we are just speaking quickly and casually and don't want to say the specific word. Maybe I don't want to say a bag or a container or a pile. I could say a big thing of, and you can see how I used it in the original conversation about food. I said, I got us a big thing of mandarin oranges. I could have said a big bag of mandarin oranges, but instead I used the word thing. And I think these are fun expressions to learn because this is how real people speak. You can say, I bought a big bag of mandarin oranges, but you're also going to hear this colorful expression used and the next one as well, which also uses the word thing. But let me give you a quick other example. So you could also say, I bought a big thing of coffee because we're going to have guests this week. I could have said a big bag of coffee, a big container of coffee, but I just said a big thing of coffee. It's a way to casually speak. Okay, let's see how this was originally used in the conversation, and then we'll see the next phrase that also uses the word thing. Let's watch. I got us a big thing of mandarin oranges. You can also call these tangerines. I know they're slightly different, but usually we use the same word. I got us a big thing of mandarin oranges. You can also call these tangerines. I know they're slightly different, but usually we use the same word. The third real life expression is another thing of. So in the conversation, I said, I got another thing of olive oil. I could have said another jar of olive oil or another container of olive oil, but I just said thing instead. Do you see how this word covers a multitude of other words? I think this is really useful, especially while you're still building your English vocabulary. If you don't know a word, try the word thing. See if it works. Another thing of olive oil. Let me give you another example. I often say this, can you grab another thing of paper towels from the store? Another thing of paper towels. I could say, can you buy some more paper towels from the store? But here I'm using this phrase, another thing of paper towels, to talk about the group of paper towels. I could say another bag of paper towels, but they don't really come in a bag. So here I'm using thing to talk about that group in a general sense. Another thing of paper towels. Perfect. Okay, let's watch how this was originally used, and I'm going to challenge you to be able to use it yourself. You can also download that PDF and just say it and repeat out loud after me so that as you're repeating and saying these phrases out loud, you'll be more likely to use it in your real conversations because you've already practiced it out loud with me in the speaking practice. All right, let's go ahead and watch the original clip. Another thing of pasta. This is dried pasta. This is not fresh. Another thing of pasta. This is dried pasta. This is not fresh. The fourth daily life phrase that I used is to go through. Now this phrasal verb has many meanings, but we're going to focus in on the one that was used in the conversation about food. I said this sentence, we go through a lot of nuts and dried fruit. This simply means that we consume, we use a lot of nuts and dried fruits in my house. That's something that we often eat as a common snack. Another way that I often use this phrase is when I'm talking about technology. Making these lessons for you means that I need to use the computer, I need to use my camera, I need to use a lot of memory and memory disks and external hard drives, these types of things. So I could say, I go through a lot of memory. This is not this memory, it's technological memory. I go through a lot of memory in my business. I have a lot of external hard drives where I can back up my lessons and my videos just in case something happens to them. So I use a lot of memory in my job. I go through a lot of memory, or like my kids, they go through a lot of food. Okay, let's watch the original clip so that you can use this way to use the phrasal verb to go through. Let's watch. We like to buy lots of nuts and dried fruit because we eat that as a snack instead of potato chips or something unhealthy. So we go through a lot of nuts. You will see that in the next bag. We like to buy lots of nuts and dried fruit because we eat that as a snack instead of potato chips or something unhealthy. So we go through a lot of nuts. You will see that in the next bag. The fifth daily life expression is treat. Treat. In the conversation, you saw me buying lots of food for my family, but I could not stop myself from buying myself a little treat. What's a treat? It's something unnecessary but special that I wanted just for me. This was my treat. In this sentence, treat is a noun. This was my treat. I bought it for myself, but we can also use this as a verb. Take a look at how I can rewrite this sentence. I like to treat myself and buy myself a little something at the grocery store. I like to treat myself. It still means the exact same thing. It's not important. It's not absolutely necessary, but it's special. So I could say, this is my treat, or I like to treat myself. So I want to know for you, let me know in the comments, when you go to the store, particularly the grocery store, do you ever buy yourself a treat? What is it? Is it a little bar of chocolate? Is it a special good smelling soap? Tell me, what is something that you like to do to treat yourself? I can't wait to see what you have to say. Okay, let's take a look at the original sentence and how I use this in the conversation.
This is my little treat. This is Jeju matcha latte packets. It's so silly. It's tea. This is my little treat. This is Jeju matcha latte packets. It's so silly. It's tea.
The sixth important daily life expression is harder than it looks. We could also say harder than it seems. So here, maybe if you are watching a professional ice skating competition, well, those people make ice skating seem so easy. Their movements are so fluid, so seamless. But when you try to get on some ice skates and go out there on the ice, you're gonna use this phrase. Oh wow, ice skating is harder than it looks. Or ice skating is harder than it seems. I thought this would be so easy, but instead you're wobbling around, maybe falling. It's quite hard, right? So this is a great way to talk about your perception compared to the reality. Let's see how I use this in the conversation. I was talking about Brazil nuts. This is a specific type of nut. And I said Brazil nuts are really hard to open. It's harder than it looks. Some nuts, like walnuts, are pretty easy to crack, especially if you have a little nutcracker device. But Brazil nuts are very hard to crack. Just by looking at them, you might not think that these are harder than all the others, but they are. It's harder than it looks to crack a Brazil nut. You might even use this for English as well. You could say, learning to speak better English is harder than it seems. I thought that I would just practice more and it would be fine. But how do I practice? What do I do? I want to improve my speaking. So that's why you're here, right? If you practice with the speaking practice from today's lesson, you will absolutely improve your speaking skills. This is something that I want to give you the tools to have, not just vocabulary like today's lesson, but also be able to use that in your speaking. So make sure you download it, all right? Let's take a look at the original clip where you saw harder than it looks in the conversation. Let's see.
Brazil nuts are really hard to open. It's very labor intensive. So this small bag is very expensive. Brazil nuts are really hard to open. It's very labor intensive. So this small bag is very expensive.
The seventh daily life phrase is an interesting one. It is immune boosting, or we can flip this around and say to boost your immune system. Here we're talking about your body's ability to fight a sickness. For example, when I was pregnant, I had a lower immune system. This is common for everyone who is pregnant. Your body is creating a baby, so your ability to fight illness is lower. You're more likely to get sick while you're pregnant because your immune system is not as strong. So usually you need to boost your immune system by taking extra vitamins, making sure that you're staying healthy, all of those things. Let's see how I use this in the conversation. I was talking about Brazil nuts and how they're really healthy for you, and I said selenium is one of the best immune boosting minerals. If you look up some natural minerals that you can add to your diet to help your ability to fight illness increase, well, selenium is one of them. So I said Brazil nuts include this immune boosting mineral. It's really important to include something like that in your diet. So I want to know for you, do you do anything to boost your immune system? Let me know in the comments. Do you go for a run? Do you exercise? Do you drink lemon water? Do you eat Brazil nuts? What is one of your tricks to help your body fight illness? Oftentimes we think about this during the winter when we're more likely to get sick. So share your tips and tricks. Let us know in the comments. Even if you're not sure if they are scientifically verified, it's always interesting to see what other people do, right? All right, let's watch that original clip and listen for immune boosting. Let's watch.
Selenium is one of the most important immune boosting minerals, and Brazil nuts have it a lot. Selenium is one of the most important immune boosting minerals, and Brazil nuts have it a lot.
The 8th daily life expression is to be picky about something. Usually being picky is not a good thing, but in some situations it is. In the conversation, I said this: I'm really picky about tomato sauce. This means that most tomato sauces, I say, no, I do not want to buy that. So I only purchase very particular brands of tomato sauce. Usually I'm not picky about most things in my life, but tomato sauce, I want to get the one that is the best, that is the most authentic, has the best tomato content in it, less other things in it. I want to get the best tomato sauce. So I am picky about tomato sauce. We often use this word to talk about children because stereotypically children are picky eaters. They only want to eat things without much flavor. I feel very grateful. My kids are generally not picky eaters. They love many things, but this is kind of the stereotype, right? So let's see what situations is being picky a good thing. It's not necessarily bad to be picky about tomato sauce. If I went to your house and you offered me some pasta with tomato sauce on it that I don't purchase, that is a brand I don't necessarily love, I don't care. I'm so happy to be eating food you made. I'm not going to be rude about it. So this is just kind of a neutral picky, right? But if I said to you, I am picky about who I hire to work for Speak English with Vanessa. Ooh, this is a good thing, right? I don't just hire everybody who asks to work for Speak English with Vanessa. We have a long interview process. They have to do several trial tasks. We have to make sure that we're a good fit. I am picky about who I hire to be helping with this business, teaching you English. That is a good thing. So let's take a look at the original clip to talk about one situation where I am picky. Let's watch.
Whole peeled tomatoes. I'm kind of picky about tomato sauce. I think because in the US there's a lot of very low quality sugary tomato sauces. Whole peeled tomatoes. I'm kind of picky about tomato sauce. I think because in the US there's a lot of very low quality sugary tomato sauces.
The 9th daily life phrase is when possible. I like this one because it gives us some advanced nuance to the sentence. Take a look at this and then let's talk about what it means. When possible, I try to avoid food dye. Well, if it's Halloween and my kids are eating Halloween candy, there's so many different dyes and additives. I don't really care. Whatever, they can eat it. I'm not going to be picky about it. But if I'm buying, for example, some kind of chips, I want to make sure that there's no dye in those chips. It's possible that you can just buy potato chips, potatoes, and oil. Those are the only ingredients: potato, oil, and salt. But a lot of potato chips actually have food dyes in them. So if I'm buying potato chips, I will check the ingredients and I will purchase those that don't have food dyes. When possible, I purchase some things that don't have food dyes. That's something that I look at, but I'm not super strict about. You might also use this about your work life. You could say, when possible, I work from home. Maybe there's some things you need to do where you have to go into the office or you have to go out into the field, you have to go to see a client. You can't work from home in those situations, but for your other work tasks, maybe you can work from home. So you say, well, when possible. You could add when it's possible. When it's possible, I work from home. That's fine too, but we often shorten this phrase and just say, when possible, I work from home. Beautiful phrase. Okay, let's take a look at how I originally used this, and I want you to try to add this to your vocabulary. It's a great advanced way to add some nuance to your conversation and to the meaning of what you're trying to say. All right, let's watch.
When possible, I try to avoid food dye. Not all the time, but usually. When possible, I try to avoid food dye. Not all the time, but usually.
The 10th, but not final, don't forget our bonus phrase that we're going to talk about today is to run out of space. Are we talking about running? Nope. Instead, we're talking about not having enough space. We can talk about this figuratively or literally. First, let's talk about literally. In the conversation, I was taking food out of bags and putting it on my kitchen table. Well, after a while, there was hardly any space left. So I said, we're running out of space, but that's okay, let's keep going. I was just piling food on top of other food. We were starting to get not enough space on the table. We're running out of space. But we can also use this a little bit more figuratively, or at least less tangibly. You might talk about space in a digital sense. So when I make these videos for you, as you can imagine, this video takes up a lot of digital space. I use a lot of memory creating videos. So actually, about 10 minutes ago, my camera turned off and it said, "This card is full." What happened? I ran out of space. So I had to go back and delete some videos that I accidentally still had on the camera. So this happened to me. I ran out of space. Here we're talking about digital space. I ran out of space, but it worked after I deleted some videos. Great. All right, let's watch how this was used in the original conversation to talk about that physical space, to run out of space. Let's watch.
All right, we're running out of space, but we're still going. All right, we're running out of space, but we're still going. All right,
Are you ready for our bonus phrase today? It is a wonderful phrasal verb. It is to give in. I have to admit, this happens to me quite a lot at the grocery store. I just love food and trying different types of food and experimenting with food. So in the conversation, I said, I don't usually buy gnocchi, but Theo wanted to buy this, so I gave in. Theo's my oldest son, and I also wanted to try that gnocchi. So when he asked for it, I said, okay, sure, let's get it. Here, I am allowing something. I am giving in. Okay, fine, sure, let's get it. Maybe this could happen to you in the workplace. This happens in American workplaces a lot where coworkers will go out to lunch together. Now, if you do this every day, you'll have no money left. But every now and then, it's a good idea to have this type of connection with your coworkers. And maybe it'll be fun too. If they are English-speaking coworkers, challenge yourself and do it. But let's imagine they have been asking you again and again, hey, you want to come to lunch with us today? No. You want to come to lunch with us today? No. And then they try again and again. And then finally on Friday, they ask you, do you want to go to lunch with us? And you give in and you say, yes. They might say, yes, he finally gave in. Let's go. So here you are allowing something. You are lowering your barrier and you are accepting. Yes, I will go to lunch with you. Maybe you'll even use English together. That would be great. Okay, let's see how this phrasal verb was used in the original conversation, this bonus phrase. Let's watch.
Usually I don't buy gnocchi, but Theo wanted to buy this and I gave in. Usually I don't buy gnocchi, but Theo wanted to buy this and I gave in.
Well, thank you so much for learning these 10+1 bonus daily life phrases with me. Don't forget to download that free PDF worksheet. It includes all of the phrases you learned today, definitions, sample sentences. There is the bonus challenge question at the very end. And there is the bonus speaking practice. When you listen to this speaking practice, I will encourage you to speak out loud with me, use the phrases that you've learned today, and challenge yourself to actually use this immediately. Speak with me, repeat with my voice. This is the #1 way. This shadowing or repeating method is the #1 way to increase your pronunciation and your sentence structure skills. So what are you waiting for? All you have to do is enter your name and email address in the link in the description, and voila, just like that, this PDF worksheet and bonus speaking practice will land in your email inbox. It is my gift to you. So thank you so much for learning English with me, and I'll see you again next Friday for a new lesson here on my YouTube channel. Bye! But wait, do you want more? I recommend watching this video next, where you will be able to see that original food conversation where I show you all $350 worth of groceries that I purchased. So much food, you're going to learn a ton of vocabulary for daily life. I can't wait, and I'll see you there.